In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to use the zoom and the window button to change the window of your coordinate plane. So the first thing I need to do is I need to graph a function. So I'm going to go to my y equals, and you can see that I have the function x squared plus 3x plus 15. That's the function that I'm going to go ahead and graph. So I'm going to go ahead and press my graph button. And if you wait a couple minutes or a couple seconds here, you can see that no graph is going to show up on your coordinate plane. So that does not mean that there's not a graph there. It just means that it is outside the window that you have here. I do believe your window is going to go to positive 10 on the x and negative 10 on the x, and then positive 10 on the y and negative 10 on the y. So let's first go ahead and show you the zoom buttons. I'm going to go ahead and press the zoom button, and I'm given a bunch of options. I can go ahead and I could zoom out, and zoom out is zoom 3. That's going to take our picture and zoom it out so that you can actually see that there is a graph there. So that's one option. Let's go ahead and zoom in and see what that looks like. So I'm going to press zoom 2. And that brings me right back to where I started. So those are two of the functions with zoom that you can use. So let me go back here and let me zoom out and let me show you another function. So let's say that you're at this position and you want to get back to the normal coordinate plane. So you could zoom in, or you can press zoom and then choose option 6. 6 is Z standard. That takes you right back to your original coordinate plane. So keep that one in mind. Another thing with the zoom is kind of cool. If you scroll down, zoom 9. So once we start talking about statistics and scatter plots and box and whisker plots, you're going to have a lot of data in your calculator, and you might want to choose zoom stat. What that does is it takes the screen and it fits it to the given data that you have. So don't forget about that once we learn about that later on. Okay, so let's go and talk about, let me go back to the graph here, and let's go ahead and talk about the window now. So just remember, there is a function on this coordinate plane here, we just can't see it. So let's go to my window function. What this is going to do is going to allow me to zoom in and zoom out, but in a different way. It's going to let me adjust my x and y axis so that it'll take me, it'll allow me to create the scale that I want. So for this one, you remember that our parabola was a little bit higher on the y-axis. So what I'm going to do is, you can see that I have x-min and then I have x-max, and I don't want to deal with those right now, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go down to my y-min and my y-max. I'm going to change my y-maximum number to be 30. And once I do that, if I press enter and then graph, you can see that it changed my y maximum axis to make it longer so that I could see that parabola. And I can keep changing that as much as I like. So all I have to do is go back to window, and I could even change that to 50 and press enter and then graph. I could also play with my x-axis too. If I go to window and I play with my x minimum, I could change that to negative 20 and press enter and graph, and it'll kind of shift my coordinate plane down. So once you get really into the window and the zoom, let's just say we want to go back to where we started. Always remember, zoom 6 will take you right back to where you started.